the hidden purpose in your silent seasons. My child, look back at the moments that broke you. Think of those long, exhausting nights when you sat alone in the dark, wondering how your life became so heavy. You became incredibly skilled at hiding your pain behind tired smiles and quiet, polite responses. You learned exactly how to survive while silently breaking into pieces inside. People looked at you every single day and assumed you were strong because you kept moving forward, because you kept showing up. But they never saw the real battles waiting for you the moment the room became completely silent and the lights went out. They never heard the trembling in your breathing late at night when the rest of the world was fast asleep. They never saw you staring blankly into the darkness with thoughts that felt far too heavy to explain to anyone. But I saw every single moment, my child. I saw every hidden tear you wiped away quickly with the back of your hand before anyone else could notice. I heard every silent cry you buried deep inside your chest because you were absolutely terrified of appearing weak to the people who depended on you. There were so many nights when exhaustion wrapped around your soul like heavy iron chains. Your mind simply would not rest, no matter how tired your physical body felt. You lay awake for hours, replaying old conversations, sudden betrayals, deep disappointments, and intense fears over and over again inside your head like a movie that wouldn't stop. You questioned yourself constantly during those dark hours. You wondered what you did wrong to deserve this. You asked yourself why everything felt so incredibly heavy, why it seemed like everyone eventually leaves your life, and why it felt like you were destined to keep fighting the exact same battles over and over again without any relief. And while absolutely nobody around you understood the violent storm happening inside your heart, I remained right beside you through every single second of it. Even when total silence surrounded you, my presence never left your side for a moment. I know all about the desperate prayers you whispered through your tears. I know about the nights when you cried so quietly into your pillow because you did not want anyone else in the house to hear you breaking apart. I saw you cover your face with your hands while trying with all your remaining might to hold yourself together. I saw your hands trembling from pure emotional exhaustion. I heard the frantic, desperate prayers you prayed when nobody else was listening to you. You cried out for help, you begged for answers, and you confessed that you could not carry the weight of this life for another step. My beloved child, not a single one of those prayers disappeared into empty silence. Not one tear fell unnoticed to the ground. Heaven recorded every single cry that escaped your breaking heart. You often wondered why I seemed so quiet during the specific seasons that hurt you the most. You asked me why I did not immediately stop the betrayal, why I did not instantly remove the physical and emotional pain, or why I did not silence the terrifying attacks coming against your mind. There were moments when my silence confused you so deeply that it shook your foundation. You interpreted that silence as distance. You genuinely thought perhaps I had stepped away from your situation entirely and left you to fend for yourself. But my child, I was never absent from your life. In fact, I was closest to you during the exact moments you felt most abandoned by the world. When your heart shattered into a million pieces, I sat directly beside you in the darkness. When disappointment crushed your spirit, I wrapped my presence tightly around you. Even though your intense pain kept you from recognizing me, I watched people make beautiful promises to you that they never intended to keep. I saw the deep heartbreak caused by those who walked away from you completely after gaining your trust and affection. I witnessed the moments when you gave your absolute loyalty, your unconditional love, your genuine kindness, and your hard work to people who repaid you with cold rejection, sudden distance, or cruel betrayal. I know how deeply those wounds affected your soul because you never fully spoke about them aloud to anyone. You carried them quietly like a heavy secret. You convinced yourself to stay strong for the outside world while you were secretly bleeding emotionally on the inside. The lessons taught by the storm. I saw every single hidden wound, my child. I saw the precise way that betrayal changed your ability to trust other human beings. I saw the deep fear it planted in the corners of your heart, making you look at everyone with suspicion. I saw how disappointment slowly turned into a chronic emotional exhaustion that you could not shake. There were mornings when simply getting out of bed felt like carrying the weight of the entire world on your tired shoulders. You smiled warmly at people while secretly wondering how much longer you could continue pretending to be completely okay. Some days your spirit felt totally drained before the day had even begun. Your body became physically tired, your mind became utterly overwhelmed, and your emotions became heavy without any warning at all. You started feeling completely disconnected from joy because pure survival had become your only daily focus. Yet, despite all of that weight, you continued moving forward day after day. And my child, I want you to understand something incredibly important right now. The mere fact that you survived those terrible seasons proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that my hand was holding you the entire time. There were intense attacks against your mind that nobody else on this earth knew about. Thoughts filled with panic, deep discouragement, total hopelessness, and wild confusion tried to consume your peace and steal your sanity. The enemy whispered constant lies into your spirit, telling you that nothing would ever change for you, that your prayers were a complete waste of time, and that your future would always feel this painful and empty. Some nights those negative thoughts became so incredibly loud that you felt emotionally trapped inside your own mind. But every single time you almost gave up completely, I strengthened you quietly in ways you didn't even realize. Every time darkness tried to swallow your hope, I breathed just enough strength into your spirit for you to survive for one more day. You may not have recognized my presence back then, but I was there sustaining you moment by moment. My beloved child, there is deep pain inside you that even the people closest to you never fully understood. They saw small parts of your struggle, but they did not see the full, crushing weight you carried internally. They did not know how deeply certain careless words affected you. They did not understand how many times disappointment pushed you to your absolute emotional limits. They did not hear the intense inner battles you fought while trying to appear perfectly normal on the outside. But I knew every single hidden fear, every silent breakdown in your car, every exhausted prayer, and every moment you sat alone trying to hold your heart together while tears rolled down your face. And still, despite all of that overwhelming pain, you continued searching for me. Even when your faith became incredibly weak and small, you still whispered my name in the dark. Even when you doubted whether I heard you at all, a part of your spirit still reached toward heaven, hoping against hope that I would answer. You understand how precious that resilience is to me. The enemy fully expected your suffering to destroy your faith completely. Darkness expected your many disappointments to pull you away from me forever and turn you bitter. But even through your confusion, even through your deep exhaustion, your spirit continued calling out to me, and I heard every single word. You thought your painful seasons were a form of punishment, but they were actually preparation. I know that truth is incredibly difficult for you to understand right now because pain rarely makes any sense while you are actively living through it. But there were things inside your heart that could only be strengthened through the specific storms you survived. I was teaching you endurance. I was teaching you discernment. I was teaching you how to recognize my voice above every other noisy voice around you. I was building a deep spiritual strength inside you that comfort alone could never create. Those lonely nights were not wasted. Those tears were not meaningless water. Those long delays were not evidence of abandonment. Why heaven seemed silent. While you were crying, I was shaping your spirit quietly for the season that is now approaching your life. Every betrayal taught you where not to place your identity. Every disappointment taught you to depend on me more deeply instead of relying on human strength. Every painful goodbye removed people from your life who simply could not follow you into your next season because they would have hindered your growth. Even the silence you hated so much forced your spirit to seek me more honestly and deeply than ever before. My beloved child, I know you became completely tired of carrying pain for so long. I know there were moments when you secretly wondered if true joy would ever return to your life again. You feared that exhaustion had become your permanent reality and that disappointment would always follow you like a shadow. But listen carefully now because I need your heart to truly receive this truth. The suffering season is ending. The nights of constant, lonely crying are coming to an end. The heaviness that has been choking your spirit for years is finally beginning to break. The emotional warfare that kept draining your strength is losing its grip over your life entirely. I know it has taken much longer than you expected it to. I know there were times when you almost lost all hope while waiting for things to change, but heaven has never forgotten you. I have never ignored your pain, and I am certainly not leaving you trapped inside the same painful cycle forever. Something is shifting right now, my child. The season that wounded you so deeply is not the season that will define your future. What felt endless is beginning to close. What felt buried and dead inside you is beginning to rise again. The same heart that carried deep sorrow for so long will soon carry immense joy again. The same eyes that cried through sleepless nights will witness beautiful restoration. The same spirit that barely survived emotional battle will soon stand stronger than ever before. You were never abandoned, not for a single second. Even during the darkest nights when you felt completely invisible to everyone around you, I remained beside you faithfully. I protected you from attacks you never even saw coming. I stopped doors from opening that would have destroyed you further. I carried your spirit when you no longer had the strength to carry yourself. And now, after everything you have survived, I am telling you clearly that your tears were not the end of your story. The suffering season is breaking, the loneliness is breaking, the silence is breaking, and the breakthrough you thought would never arrive is already beginning to move directly toward you. My beloved child, I know how many times you asked me the same painful question in the middle of your waiting. You asked me why it was taking so long. You prayed with pure sincerity, you cried with genuine faith, and you believed with all the strength you had left in your soul. Yet day after day, the answer seemed delayed. Doors stayed closed tightly, the agitation remained, and the breakthrough you expected did not arrive when you hoped it would. Slowly, disappointment began whispering dangerous, poisonous thoughts into your heart. You started wondering if perhaps I had forgotten all about you, or if perhaps I had chosen to bless everyone else while leaving you far behind. You worried that your prayers were simply not important enough to reach heaven. But my child, listen to me carefully now, because I need you to understand something that will heal part of the deep pain you carried for so long. Delay you experienced was never a rejection of your prayers. I never ignored you, I never abandoned your future, and I never overlooked your tears. Even during the seasons when heaven seemed completely silent, I was deeply involved in every single detail surrounding your life. The problem was never that I stopped working on your behalf. The problem was that you expected me to move according to your human timing, while I was actually moving according to your ultimate protection. There were things you asked for before you were emotionally, spiritually, and mentally prepared to carry them. There were blessings you wanted immediately that would have crushed you completely if I had released them too early. The protection hidden in closed doors. I know you did not understand that at the time. Human frustration made the waiting feel completely unbearable, but now I need you to see the beautiful truth behind the silence. You called it a delay, but many times it was pure protection. There were relationships you begged me to preserve that would have slowly destroyed your peace and identity if they had remained in your life. I know how deeply certain people mattered to you. I know how badly you wanted them to stay with you. You prayed for restoration, you prayed for healing, and you prayed for them to change their ways. But my child, some people were assigned only to a specific chapter of your story, not your entire destiny. You cried when they walked away because you thought losing them meant losing a part of yourself. But I removed them because I could see what you could not see from your limited perspective. I saw the hidden damage those relationships would eventually cause to your spirit if allowed to continue. I saw how certain connections drained your joy, weakened your confidence, distracted your focus, and kept you emotionally trapped in cycles that could not follow you into your bright future. You thought closed doors meant rejection from me, but many of those closed doors were my mercy in disguise, protecting you from entering places that would have wounded you deeply. There were opportunities you were absolutely convinced would change your life for the better. You imagined your entire future around them and became emotionally attached to outcomes that never happened. And when those doors closed firmly, your heart broke because you believed your one true chance at happiness had disappeared forever. But my beloved child, I closed some doors because the rooms behind them carried hidden pain and destruction you were not prepared to face. What looked absolutely perfect from your human perspective carried heavy consequences that only heaven could see clearly. I know there were moments when frustration almost consumed your faith entirely. You became incredibly tired of hearing people tell you to wait on God, because waiting felt painful, confusing, and incredibly lonely. You watched everyone around you receive blessings, while your own prayers seemed to remain unanswered. You watched people move forward with their lives, while your own life seemed completely frozen in place. Some days it felt like time itself was moving rapidly around you while you remained trapped inside the exact same exhausting season, and slowly, disappointment began turning into a deep emotional weariness. You wondered if maybe your breakthrough would never come at all. But my child, heaven was never inactive during your waiting season. While you were crying over delays, I was arranging every single detail behind the scenes that your human eyes could not yet see. I was moving the right people into position. I was removing hidden dangers from your path. And I was teaching your spirit lessons that comfort alone could never teach you. I was building maturity inside you because where I am taking you requires a much stronger, wiser version of you than the one who first entered this season. There were moments when you begged me to open doors immediately, but I delayed them because your heart still needed deep healing first. You wanted blessings while secretly carrying open wounds that would have sabotaged those very blessings later on. You wanted elevation while still struggling with deep fears, insecurities, unhealthy emotional attachments, and unresolved pain from your past. And because I love you too deeply to give you something prematurely that would hurt you, I allowed the waiting season to continue until your spirit became strong enough to handle it. My child, premature blessings often become hidden burdens. If I had released certain things too early, they would have damaged you instead of helping you. Some blessings require massive preparation before they arrive. A heart carrying unresolved pain cannot fully sustain the weight of destiny. That is why the waiting felt so long. I was not punishing you. I was preparing you carefully. You mistook my silence for abandonment because you could not see the massive spiritual work happening beyond your understanding. But silence never meant absence. Even when you heard absolutely nothing, I was still guiding your steps. Even when answers delayed, my hand remained over your life, protecting your future. Every unanswered prayer carried purpose, every delay carried hidden wisdom, and every closed door carried divine protection. This is your divine interruption. My child, this is not your ordinary day, and this is not an ordinary moment. I have knocked on the door of your heart before, but this time heaven will not stay silent. I have called your name in quiet moments, in restless nights, in the middle of your tears, and even through the intense battles you could not explain to anyone around you. But now the hour has come where you can no longer ignore what your spirit has been feeling so deeply. Something is shifting around you. Something massive is already moving in your atmosphere. And if you walk away from this moment too quickly, you may miss the very breakthrough you begged me for when no one else was listening. Within the next few moments, something inside you will begin to awaken. That heaviness you have carried for so long is not just simple exhaustion anymore. It is the pressure before release. The shaking you feared is not destruction. It is me removing every chain that stood between you and your true destiny. I am tearing down walls you thought would stand forever. I am uprooting fear, confusion, delay, betrayal, and every hidden force that tried to convince you your story would end in disappointment. You thought the silence meant I abandoned you, but my child, I was preparing a move so powerful that when it finally arrives, nobody will be able to deny that it was my hand upon your life. I did not bring you to this moment by accident. I already knew the tears you would cry, the nights you would battle anxiety, and the prayers you would whisper while trying not to fall apart. I know how many times you smiled while secretly carrying pain no one noticed. I saw every moment you almost gave up completely. I heard every question you asked me in silence. You asked if I was still with you, if I still heard you, and if this season would ever change. And now I answer you directly. Yes, I heard every single word. Yes, I stayed beside you through every storm. And yes, this season is about to change in ways you never expected. Do not look away from this message. Do not allow distraction to steal what heaven is trying to place inside your spirit right now. The battle around you is reaching its final stage, and the enemy knows something you have not fully realized yet. Your breakthrough is no longer far away. That is why the pressure increased so dramatically. That is why confusion attacked your mind. That is why some days felt heavier than others. The darkness sensed that your season was changing, so it tried to exhaust you completely before you could step into your victory. But I tell you now, the attack did not come because you were losing. It came because heaven was preparing to lift you higher than ever before. You thought the waiting season was your final ending. There were moments when you truly believed nothing would ever change. You looked at closed doors, broken relationships, delayed answers, financial struggles, and emotional exhaustion, and you wondered if your prayers had fallen into silence. But my beloved child, the ground is about to shake because I am moving mountains you could never move on your own. What seemed impossible to you was never impossible to me. While you were crying, I was arranging. While you were waiting, I was preparing. While you were losing strength, I was positioning miracles behind the scenes that you could not yet see. My beloved child, this is your final awakening before your life changes forever. Open the door now. Open the door of your heart, open the door of your faith, and open the door of your trust. Because the breakthrough you begged me for is no longer coming from a distance. It has already arrived. You keep looking ahead for something in the future, but I need you to understand that heaven has already released movement into your situation. The chains are already weakening, the doors are already unlocking, and the answers are already moving toward you. Even now, while you listen to these words, things are shifting in places you cannot see. The tears you cried in secret were never ignored. Heaven heard every whisper, every sleepless prayer, and every emotional breakdown. I saw the nights when your chest felt heavy with fear. I saw the mornings when you forced yourself to keep going even though your spirit felt entirely tired. I saw the disappointment you hid from others because you were afraid nobody would understand. But I understood. I was there every second. I collected every single tear you shed in silence. Not one moment of your suffering was wasted. The pain you survived has shaped you for the season that is now arriving. The sound of chains breaking. Something massive has already entered your atmosphere. You cannot fully see it yet with your human eyes, but your spirit can feel it. That restless feeling inside you is not random. That unusual pressure around your life is not a coincidence. This is not fear. This is the sound of chains breaking. This is the sound of spiritual walls collapsing. This is the sound of heaven responding to prayers you thought had gone completely unanswered. The shaking has already begun in the unseen realm, and soon what happens spiritually will become visible in your everyday life. If you know that I carried you through the storms, then I am not asking you to prepare for victory anymore. I am telling you victory has already entered your house. The season of barely surviving is ending. The season of endless delay is collapsing. The season of watching everyone else move forward while you remain stuck is coming to a permanent end. You are stepping into a moment that will divide your life into a clear before and after. Before this breakthrough and after this breakthrough. Before this healing and after this healing. Before this restoration and after this restoration. Enemy tried to convince you that you were forgotten by heaven. There were voices around you that made you question your worth, your future, and even your faith. Some people smiled directly in front of you while secretly expecting your downfall. Others abandoned you when you needed support the most. But I allowed you to survive every betrayal because I needed you to learn something powerful. Your destiny was never tied to the people who walked away from you. I am the one holding your future. I am the one opening doors no person can shut. I am the one writing your story, and no attack from darkness can erase what I have already spoken over your life. Before this day ends, your heart will no longer be the same. I am knocking because the season of delay is collapsing before your eyes. The fear that followed you for years is breaking. The discouragement that kept whispering defeat is losing its grip. The heaviness you carried is beginning to lift. You may not understand every single detail yet, but deep inside your spirit, you can already sense that something is fundamentally changing. The atmosphere around your life is shifting because I am moving closer than ever before. I know there were moments when you questioned your own strength. You wondered how much longer you could keep enduring disappointment after disappointment. You became tired of hoping, tired of waiting, and tired of fighting battles nobody else could see. But my child, I never asked you to carry this heavy burden alone. I have been standing beside you through every unseen war. Every time you almost collapsed emotionally, I strengthened you. Every time you wanted to quit, I breathed fresh courage back into your spirit. Every time darkness whispered lies into your mind, my hand remained over your life, protecting you from complete destruction. And now listen carefully, because this moment is sacred. You are standing at the edge of a transition that will alter your future completely. The shaking around you is not there to destroy you, it is clearing the path ahead. Some things simply had to fall apart because they could not follow you into your next season. Some people had to leave your life because they were connected to your old season, not your new one. Some doors had to close because they were far too small for the massive destiny I prepared for you. You cried over what was leaving, but soon you will understand exactly why I removed it. Do not let fear make you run backward now. Do not allow doubt to stop you when heaven is finally opening the way forward. This is the moment your spirit has been preparing for through every single painful season. The breakthrough is not approaching slowly anymore. It is here. The healing is here. The restoration is here. The answer is here. The miracle is here. Stand firm now, my beloved child. Even if the ground shakes beneath you, do not panic. Even if circumstances begin changing rapidly around you, do not fear. I am the one controlling the shaking. I am the one leading you through this transition. And when this season fully unfolds, you will look back and realize that every single painful moment was leading you directly toward this magnificent breakthrough. I am knocking at the door. Open it now. Do not delay your obedience. Do not ignore my voice. Do not allow distractions to pull you away from this divine moment, because what I am about to release into your life is greater than anything you have ever imagined. The chains are breaking. The walls are falling. The havens are opening, and your breakthrough is not coming someday in the distant future. It is already here. Step into your transformation. My child, stop for a single moment and listen carefully to me. Do not move past this message too quickly. Do not allow distraction to steal this moment from you. I am speaking directly into your spirit right now, and what I am about to reveal is not small. This is not another ordinary message you casually hear and forget. This is not random timing, and this is not a coincidence. I brought you here because heaven has chosen this exact moment to interrupt your life. I know exactly what you were doing before these words found you. I know the thoughts running through your mind. I know the pressure that has been sitting heavily on your chest these past days. And I tell you now, there is a very specific reason your spirit has felt restless. There is a reason sleep has become difficult. There is a reason your emotions have shifted suddenly without any logical explanation. There is a reason you have felt both completely exhausted and highly alert at the same time. Heaven is moving around you, my beloved child, and the spiritual realm has already begun to shake. I am whispering to you with urgency because the season you are standing in is far too important for you to ignore my voice any longer. If you walk away from this moment without listening, you may delay the very breakthrough you have cried to me for in secret. You asked me for answers, you begged me to move, and you pleaded with me to change your situation. And now that heaven is responding, I need you to remain still long enough to hear what I am saying to you. My child, something massive is already happening around your life. Even if your physical eyes cannot fully see it yet, your spirit has already begun to sense it. That unusual heaviness you have been carrying is not only stress. That confusion you have felt is not simply exhaustion. That emotional pressure you cannot explain is not random. The spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting because I am preparing to remove things that can no longer stay attached to your destiny. The shaking has already started in places you cannot see. The reason everything feels unstable is because I am touching the foundations of your life to rebuild them stronger. I am exposing hidden fears. I am breaking invisible chains, and I am moving obstacles that have blocked your path for longer than you realize. Do not ignore this moment, because the enemy knows exactly how close you are to your breakthrough. That is why the attacks became so much stronger recently. That is why your mind has been under intense pressure. That is why discouragement suddenly increased out of nowhere. Darkness can always sense when heaven is preparing to release something powerful into a person's life. The battle intensified because your season is changing. The confusion increased because your chains are weakening. The pressure became heavier because what has been holding you captive knows its time is short. My beloved child, I know you have been tired. I know there were nights when you sat quietly, wondering how much longer you could keep fighting battles nobody else understood. I saw the moments you smiled in front of others while secretly breaking inside. I heard the silent prayers you whispered while trying not to cry. I watched you carry burdens you never told anyone about because you feared nobody would understand the depth of your pain. But I understood. I was there every second. Even when you thought I was silent, I was standing right beside you, protecting you from attacks you never even saw. This is exactly why I interrupted your path today. This is why these words found you now and not later. Heaven does not move by accident. I arranged this moment because your spirit needed warning before the shaking increases. Yes, my child, the shaking will increase, but do not fear when it happens. Do not panic when things begin shifting suddenly around you. Do not become afraid when doors close unexpectedly, when people change their attitudes toward you, when situations move rapidly, or when emotions rise to the surface. What is happening is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to free you completely. For too long, you have carried things that were never assigned to follow you into your next season. You carried old pain, old disappointment, old fear, old guilt, old attachments, and old habits. And now, I am beginning to remove everything standing between you and the destiny I prepared for you before you were even born. The process feels uncomfortable because chains do not break quietly. Spiritual warfare does not happen without resistance, but what you feel right now is absolute evidence that movement has already begun in the unseen realm. I need you to hear me carefully now. This moment contains your breakthrough. If you open your heart now, if you stop resisting what I am trying to do, then you will step into one of the greatest shifts of your entire life. Turn away from fear, stand firm in your faith, and watch as heaven completely transforms your story from this moment forward.